Not in the movies now, son.
Let's go back to how the story begins in the middle of a tomato attack in a corner of Spain. An annual food fight called La Tatana is taking place. In the thick of it all is a high-ranking M6 agent called Noel, who is on an undercover mission with her team to find a Russian arms dealer named Viktor Gradov. Unfortunately, they realize it's a trap. So, they decide to use an advanced secret system called Echelon to track down their target. However, they only have permission to use it for 60 seconds. Sadly, while they were conducting the search, Noel's entire team is killed, and Groudup's people manage to gain access to the Echelon systems, which was their objective all along. Noel was about to stop them, but to her bad luck, she takes a point-blank shot that leaves her helpless, and she only manages to realize that Gradov was present on the roof. Meanwhile, in London, England, we meet Sam, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, who is worried about his upcoming meeting with the U.S. President, Daringer. Daringer, who has only been in power for 2 weeks, is seen by Sam as pathetic because he cares deeply about popularity. People support him because before being a candidate, he was an actor who released several popular films. For his part, Will is also annoyed by his meeting with Sam because during his campaign, he felt the Prime Minister supported his opponent just for eating fish and chips, a very famous English dish, and therefore believes Sam doesn't respect him. But nevertheless, the meeting takes place. Since there will be a press conference at NATO, Will tells Sam that if the reporters ask about the failed operation in Spain, they should simply ignore it as it's a time for positive news. Sam doesn't seem to agree, and during the press conference, sensing Will's aggressive stance, Sam gives the floor to a journalist who asks the president uncomfortable questions about the failed operation. Will can't think of a better idea than to promise to catch those responsible. And in doing so, he quotes lines from one of his movie characters, making a complete fool of himself. After this stumble, Will is very mad. The two protagonists' advisors suggest that they travel together on the presidential plane, and a brief wave on the stairs will show unity and silence all critics. Both know it's a benefit to them and have no choice but to accept the idea. As the journey unfolded peacefully, one of Gradov's men infiltrates the plane, revealing the location and accessing its system. This is how the traffickers' people intercept the presidential plane. And as they mercilessly start shooting to bring it down, the president and the prime minister try to escape by taking parachutes and getting out however they can. Air Force One defends itself with all its arsenal. But unfortunately, the engines are shot down. And with only a couple of parachutes left, Will and Sam are the only ones to escape alive. News quickly spreads, showing devastating images of how the presidential plane has crashed. Due to the magnitude, both the president and the prime minister are presumed dead. Because of this, the succession of Vice President Elizabeth is already being considered. Meanwhile, Sam and Will are well and now have to travel a great distance to find refuge on the Polish border. Unfortunately, they landed in Belarus and will receive no help as that country will not allow planes into its airspace. And Sam believes it's impossible for his men to cross enemy lines in search of possible bodies. In addition, they have to discard their phones because otherwise their enemies will come looking for them. After seeing what was left of the presidential plane, Will is furious and wants those responsible to pay for this. Meanwhile, the vice president in the midst of the succession has to restart the Echelon system. Gradov takes advantage of this, gaining full access and control of the secret system thanks to the restart. After walking for several hours, Will and Sam try to steal a car, but are discovered by some local thugs who, unaware of their identities, begin to attack them. Both leaders defend themselves as best they can. While Sam has combat skills from his time in the army, Will remembers his movie roles and with some luck manages to hit several of them. Enraged, The thugs now try to finish them off with various objects. But fortunately, a woman with a gun decides to help the leaders. She decides to take them, and using her vehicle, she places them among her sheep to try and pass unnoticed. The woman even has to sacrifice one of her animals in exchange for being allowed to cross the border. Once in Warsaw, Will and Sam thank the kind woman who drove them to their destination without asking for anything in return. As they said goodbye, the woman smiles and tells them it was a true pleasure to help them, as she knew from the beginning that Will was the president. And for her, there was no greater honor than having him as a passenger. Our protagonists finally reach the CIA refuge. To their bad luck, since the system has been compromised, Gradov quickly learns that they are still alive. Without wasting time, he orders his team to annihilate them. Will and Sam are euphorically welcomed by Marty, an agent in charge of the refuge. He considers himself a big fan of Will and is momentarily distracted admiring him. Sam brings him back to reality and asks him to show them the protocol for this type of situation. Marty tells them there's no protocol for a situation like this where everyone presumes the heads of state are dead. Will isn't fazed and believes they should create one. Marty shows them every space in the facility and updates them on what's happening at NATO. An infiltration into their secret data exposed decades of covert activity, causing alliances to begin to break down. This undoubtedly worries the heads of state because when the summit takes place, it will be a free-for-all. On the other hand, Vice President Elizabeth has a debate with Simon, Will's personal assistant, who disagrees with her decisions regarding the ongoing events. Meanwhile, Will wants to announce that they are alive, but Sam strongly refuses, believing their lives are in danger and there might be an enemy among the high ranks. At that moment, an alarm goes off. Gradovs have found the refuge. Realizing the danger the heads of state are in, Marty activates a secret compartment full of weaponry. He fully equips himself in his tactical suit and firmly gives them instructions on what to do if he fails to protect them. Like a true hero, Marty springs into action, determined to give his all. With the help of a surveillance camera, he precisely neutralizes several enemies. However, Victor's men discover his tactic and quickly destroy the camera, leaving Marty without his main advantage. Things get ugly, and the heads of state prepare to escape the refuge. Amidst the gunfire, they reach the secret elevator and with a few seconds head start manage to flee. However, some men were waiting for them at the exit, and our protagonists have no choice but to surrender. At that moment, a patrol car speeds in, taking with it the henchmen who were trying to finish off Will and Sam. To the minister's surprise, it was Noel who had survived Gradov's attack in Spain by wearing a bulletproof. They were former colleagues, though there was a stronger connection in the past. Without wasting time, Noel orders them to hurry because her priority now is to keep them alive to stop the Russian trafficker, as she is sure he is behind the attack they suffered as well as the NATO data infiltration. This is because Gradov seeks revenge for the death of his son who was annihilated while building a nuclear weapon that endangered millions of lives. That I know you are finding value in this video. Please subscribe to get me monetized. After analyzing who might be working with Gradov, the president points to Sam's assistant as he insisted that they travel together. However, they can't assume this suspicion without proof. For Noel, the most important thing now is to reach Trieste. So, the new group has no choice but to take a train and embark on their journey. During the trip, Sam and Noel nostalgically discuss what their life together could have been, imagining the future they never built, as everything fell apart because they took different paths. At that moment, Arthur, the man who helped Gradov hack into the Echelon system, arrives on the train, determined to betray the trafficker as Gradov kidnapped him and forced him to work for him. Arthur tells them that Gradov has a contact in the high ranks who helped him with the data infiltration and the plane attack. Before dying, Arthur gives them a key to access his computer in Croatia and discover with whom Gradov was communicating in the government. With this information, our protagonists jump off the moving train, certain that enemies will be waiting for them at the next station. Meanwhile, the vice minister begins to lose important allies who withdraw one after another from NATO. Finally, our protagonists reach the location Arthur indicated. To their bad luck, Victor's men find them, and they have to hurry. While Sam tries to hold them off, Noel and will enter the key into the hacker's computer in a cubicle. Soon after, they discover that Bradshaw, the president's assistant, is the one who has been in contact with Victor for approximately 18 months. At that instant, a helicopter supported by anchors drags the cubicle where our protagonists are. Sam desperately tries to prevent his friends from being taken, but his efforts are in vain. From the helicopter, Gradov men launches a missile directly at the minister, causing an explosion that devastates the entire place. Meanwhile, Noel and will manage to jump out of the cubicle in time, reaching safety. With broken hearts, our protagonists must continue on their way. At dawn, Will contacts Elizabeth to send a vehicle for him and informs her that Bradshaw is the infiltrator. As a vehicle arrives to pick him up, they realize that Elizabeth is behind everything, not his assistant as he thought. A struggle ensues inside the vehicle as more henchmen surround it. As things get more intense, Sam appears in a fire truck, having survived the attack. The heads of state combine their skills and along with Noel battle the henchmen until they escape. Will and Sam storm the summit to take control. In the middle of the debate, Gradov shoots Elizabeth. The place turns into a full-blown shootout. Noel goes after the trafficker and the heads of state join her. While Noel stays to fight a henchman, Will and Sam team up, bringing down the helicopter in which Gradov intended to escape in, thus achieving their objective. 2 months later, Will visit Sam in London. Both maintain a good friendship after defeating a powerful enemy and preventing NATO from disintegrating. Noel, for her part, continues her missions and still communicates with Sam. And so this story ends